As shown in these next screenshots from the comment section of Captain Andy's DarkMatter2525 transphobe video, Dark Matter exhibits just blatant color blindness, which results in him coming off as obtuse and apathetic to the reality that those of us who aren't white straight men face daily. And he does this all in the name of this idealist notion of the "we are all Africans" post-racial rhetoric that I've seen being pushed by a good number of new atheists on and off YouTube. He seems to think that labels most of the time serve no function but to perpetuate division because of what people assume of their meanings. He also thinks that others like myself are just blaming him for how we see ourselves. Now, when it comes to the second screen cap, which is Dark Matter's response to extremely boring, pay special attention to the part that's underlined in red. As you can see, he perpetuates color blindness and respectability politics all in one reply. So since Dark Matter decided to use being a black woman for this hypothetical, I feel that as a black woman myself, it would be good to break down why this perspective is, at best, naive as fuck, and at worst, intellectually lazy as fuck. When I look in the mirror, I see a black woman, and I also see a human being. These are not mutually exclusive concepts. There's nothing wrong with me seeing myself as a black woman. It's a part of my identity, as is being a sex-positive feminist, and an atheist, and a nerd, and heteroflexible, and any other label that I identify with. I don't perpetuate the stereotypes that have been purposely attached to being black just because I use the label of black. The behaviors that go into classifying stereotypes are arbitrary as fuck, and it was the majority group that imperialized and colonized the world, white people, that decided that said arbitrary behaviors significantly define an entirety of a group, and decided that it was acceptable to use as justification for racism and systemic oppression that was and is still carried out today. I feel no need to discard black as a label just because I live in a world that still associates negative connotations with being black. Nor will the world become a better place if I were to just discard the label of black. That is a reality that has been proven time and time again. Colorblindness does not lead to the deconstruction or pretty much the destruction of white supremacy and racism. Just like seeing women as just one of the boys doesn't end sexism. Being blind to these issues only obfuscates them. It exacerbates them. So, Dark Matter, your choice to view people as just individuals means that you're choosing to put up blinders when it comes to the broader picture of what non-white groups go through. And if you're blinding yourself to something, you're not dealing with it or fixing it. You're ignoring and diminishing the lived experiences and perspectives of those who aren't like you, because it makes it easier for you to navigate the world, and it frees you from engaging in the stressful and often tough conversations which might threaten your point of view or make you think twice about it, that maybe the position that you think is the most, while seeming like the most sensible and accepting of differences, it rather serves as a function of something bad and horrible, like racism. So I've been following the comments exchange in the first video about Dark Matter. So I've read everyone's reply, and I've read Dark Matter's reply and exchanges with other people, particularly his exchange with Serious Minded. And I like how he goes out of his way to thank Joe for basically giving it to him with a spoonful of sugar, because, he's a, you know, because, oh, you see me as a person, instead of addressing me with the, you know, what is that? What's that quote you use? The typical YouTube vitriolic, ponage, hungry responses. And all I could do is really chuckle to myself about that, because if you think my first video to you was vitriolic or just made for ponage, Dark Matter, then you don't really know what vitriol is. This series I made up, Drunk in White Privilege, it's not for ponage. It's basically for deconstructing an antiquated and pretty useless point of view. I don't know you personally. I only know you through watching some of your videos back in the day, you know, the animated ones, and through people talking of you, if you ever came up in conversation. So I don't really know anything about you, so I can't really hate you, and I don't hate you. All I have to go on are your words and your actions. And even if I didn't know you personally, if I was your friend, given everything that you've said, I would still be getting at you in regards to the things that you've said and how you've been acting. That's what I use in my critique of you, or not you, your perspective. And I don't have to deliver that critique with saccharine or, you know, in a sweet manner. And given your responses towards me and others in the conversation thus far, I think my annoyance and anger towards you is pretty justified, and the expression of that doesn't make what I've said less valid. It doesn't negate or refute any of the points that I've made. So if you find yourself just dismissing me and dismissing what I've said just because you don't like the tone, that's your problem. It's not mine. Because that's a main thing that being colorblind does to people, I've found. It makes them succumb to cowardice.